The sidekick universe is pretty large.
I think so. I think the sidekick, I mean, Disney does a great job doing a sidekick just for like every single movie.
Well, that's the problem is that they're in every single movie, and even, like, TV shows too. I mean, none of mine are from a TV show, but, um, you could make that argument that there are sidekicks in the TV shows, but there's so many to choose from, like, an
So what
unreal universe.
I want to establish before we get into this,
Okay.
because I did a lot of research, because I think, instinctively when we pick a topic, we look over and we Google, okay, what are the other things in this topic, right? What are other
Yeah.
people saying about it? And I want to establish and say that Stitch is not a sidekick. The
He's
movie is called,
not.
yes,
Lilo
the
and
movie is
Stitch.
called Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, no, like, I think the only sidekick you could, argue in that movie, and I'm forgetting their names. What are the 2 aliens?
No, if anything, I think the sidekick is truthfully Lilo, because Stitch is the star of the show, but I think it's Jumba and Pleakley, the
Pleakley
aliens.
is the sidekick for Jumba.
Jumba,
That's
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
So,
Stitch is not. If he was, he'd be on both our lists because we both like Stitch.
correct, I love Stitch, but Stitch is a star, and he
He's
is not a sidekick.
main character energy.
Yeah, and one more, because I feel like sometimes, this is our first season of doing this podcast. Sometimes
Yeah.
I wanna make sure that we're prefacing these topics, and I also wanna say that, personally, I did not consider Baymax a sidekick either.
I don't think so either, but I
Yeah.
think it'd be funny if we had a running total of the amount of times we say preface in this.
Okay, preface.
Yes.
Preface.
We
Yeah.
say it so much.
Okay, so today we're doing favorite Disney sidekicks,
Yes.
and I'm not gonna lie, I changed mine a couple times, and I definitely changed mine yesterday, like, last minute.
I think my 2 and 3 have flip-flopped a dozen times, but then there came a point like, a few days ago that I had to just stop, and I haven't touched it since.
Because it's almost like every Disney movie has a sidekick of the main character, if not multiple, and sometimes they have, because there's multiple, they may have different features or
Well,
one,
even, like, some movies, like, there's multiple main characters, and sometimes both the main characters have a sidekick. So, there
Yeah.
truly is a lot like, there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
Do you wanna, start us off?
Sure. I guarantee this may surprise you.
I can
'Cause
guarantee that we're gonna have 6 different
we're
sidekicks.
gonna have 6 different sidekicks,
We have
hands
very
down.
different interests, so
Um, so while I was doing my research, I this is the one I changed. I had
okay,
number 1 locked in from the get-go since the moment that we picked this topic,
okay.
but my number 3 is actually Sven. And
I'm not
I
surprised.
you're not surprised?
No.
So, I rewatched Frozen 1, the OG original Frozen back, and I'm watching it, and I see little Kristoff and little Sven,
Baby
and
Sven.
they're kind of, running after, Elsa and Anna's parents, and I was like, "Oh my gosh," like, Sven was there from day 1, like, talk
Sven
about
and
a
yeah,
right?
Kristoff
Like,
have been together since they were kids.
is there a
They
better
were little
sidekick
kitties.
than one that's been there from day 1? You
I
know?
love Sven.
So, I think he provides just, like, everything, right? He's always there. He does have a personality, and he's super cute. Like, I love when Kristoff does his little, "Hey,
He
should I
talks
ma"
for him.
I love that so much,
Yeah, me too.
and, like, at the very end when, I think Olaf at the end of Frozen 1, Olaf sneezes, and his
The
carrot blows
carrot
right out into Sven, and Sven puts it back instead of eating it, like,
because he likes carrots, and earlier in the movie, Kristoff buys him, like, a bundle of carrots,
yeah.
if you
I
remember
think,
that.
like, he is a true sidekick. Now, probably on my list, he may be, like, the ultimate ride or die if you're thinking about sidekicks for
But
me,
he's
but
number 3?
he's my number 3 because I just felt like he's there, like, he doesn't necessarily do magic, or he's just always there. He's just so consistent, but, I just loved the fact that he was there from day 1, and I feel like when I was comparing it to other sidekicks, ones that are some that are in my honorable mention, some that aren't. I just felt like he kind of checked off a lot of the boxes that I enjoy, where the
Yeah.
other ones I just didn't know that like checked off multiple boxes. Like,
Well, sometimes, like, sidekicks really don't serve a purpose or don't have a
true.
personality, and those are the ones that are just like, they're just kinda there,
Yeah, I know.
but I like Sven. That's a
For
good
example,
one.
Hey, hey, I just
I
don't
was I was
understand.
and Pua, both of them from Moana.
Don't even Lindsay knows this. Like, you know
They did
this.
Pua dirty.
Oh gosh. They did Pua so dirty. Like, I remember after seeing Moana, which is one of my favorite probably Disney movies,
I have a point after you're done.
I was like, where the fuck is this pig? Why the fuck was this
Well,
pig only in 25% of this movie? And it was all over every
all
poster.
over, like, the trailer, everything, and then they showed Pua for, like, 25, 30 seconds.
Like,
And I was watching Moana literally yesterday, and you know when Maui gets his hook back, and he's like
yes.
like, couldn't figure it out, he turns into Sven. One
Yes,
of
I
the
did know
characters
that.
he turns into is
Yes.
Sven.
I is that was that right before Frozen 2? Was that an Easter egg?
Um, it was definitely after Frozen,
Must have
so
been before
it was
Frozen
probably
2.
before Frozen 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally
Okay.
forgot about that. But I'll say Pua would have been on this list. Pua's not even in my honorable mention because you're right. They did him so
He
dirty.
has no personality and no purpose, so how could he serve as a sidekick?
He's a
He's
scaredy
not.
piglet, you know? He's a scaredy
Yeah,
piglet.
I know. Okay,
Number 3 for you.
this one will come as absolutely no surprise to anyone involved. Pascal from Tangled.
Well, you know what's funny is since the podcast launched, people have come up to me or like we've talked about it, and specifically they're like, "I've watched Tangled again." Like, and it's
Because
probably
do I talk about Tangled in every episode?
because you literally talk about it. There, like, it should be like no matter what we do, we have to drop Tangled in every episode, or it just naturally comes up because no matter what.
It naturally comes up because it's one of my favorite movies, and there's so many just good qualities that come out of Tangled. One of them is Pascal. I think he's a great sidekick because he does have like a very large personality in his little teeny tiny body, and he does serve a purpose. Like he's very protective over Rapunzel, and like also if you think about it, she was like trapped in a tower for like years without like having any access to the
Listen,
outside
if
world, and like
anybody has listened to this podcast, they know the premise of Tangled,
I'm just
Lindsay.
saying, like, can you imagine being stuck in a tower and, like, her only friend was Pascal?
Wait, let me ask this because I feel like so from Frozen 2, I love the little
Oh,
tiny
he's a tiny guy.
little
What's his name?
I don't know,
I don't know either.
the little critter.
The
But
little fire guy.
I feel like the little fire critter guy is a lot of similarities to Pascal.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah. But
Um, but also, so there's another sidekick in Tangled. He's the white horse for he's Flynn Rider's sidekick, Maximus. And I love like the interaction between Maximus and Pascal as well. It's kind of like Sven and Olaf. You know, they're both
wait,
sidekicks in
is your number
Frozen.
3 a tie then?
Oh my god, no, I'm just saying I love
Okay,
their
got it. Okay, okay,
interaction.
okay. We're establishing.
Yeah.
All right,
No, no,
all
no,
right.
yeah. Just Pascal. I love Maximus, but not as much as Pascal.
Maximus definitely doesn't have that much of a personality. Like,
No.
he's just kind of like a little bit sassy,
He's
but
sassy,
that's it.
yeah. Um, I mean, yeah, especially for like I mean, a sidekick that can't talk, like Pascal doesn't talk, but he does have a lot of personality. I love
Yeah.
him. He's so cute. He's a chameleon.
Let me ask this. When I took pictures when I was at Disneyland of the Pascal dog costume, why did you not want me to get it?
If you can't tell, my dog has a lot of outfits. She's a ton of clothes. And I kind of honestly like regret you not buying it at this point because she would have been so freaking cute as Pascal. I don't want to talk about it because it's a big regret of mine.
Daisy Lou is one of the most fashionable dogs in all the land.
Someone stopped me on the street yesterday and told me that she was the best dressed dog she's ever seen. So,
No, they didn't.
mhm.
No, they didn't.
It
That
was an
makes
older
my
woman,
day.
yeah.
That makes my day. Um,
So, yeah, that's my number 3. Love
there are no
Pascal.
dogs on my list. Number 2, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he is a sidekick.
Oh
And
god.
this would be Genie from Aladdin.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, because here's the thing is, at the end of the day, if Aladdin didn't find the lamp, You know, if Genie didn't have this obligation for 3 wishes, he really wouldn't be a sidekick. Like, is a sidekick really a sidekick when they have obligations? I
Yeah,
know.
I don't sorry, she's growling. Um, she's not
And
no,
there's
I mean, I
the
don't
daily
know.
drop the daisy drop
The
of the
Daisy Drop.
episode.
No, I definitely think Genie is the sidekick, and Aladdin wouldn't be Aladdin without Genie.
Yes, and I think I kinda pushed aside, like, "Listen, this is just part of the movie. The obligation is there. This is what he is as a sidekick." I think and I'm not talking about I'm not talking, unfortunately, about the Will Smith, I'm talking about the
The
OG
OG
R
animated film.
Robin Williams. I mean, I don't think there was a single better person they could have played for Genie than Robin Williams, and RIP, but, like,
I
this is a
agree.
sidekick that grants you wishes, he sings, he dances, he wears cool outfits like the goofy hat and Hawaiian shirt. I mean, he in my opinion, and this actually goes for both movies, but, like, I feel like he carries the movie to some extent. He's the glue of the movie
Yeah,
and truly
yeah,
does play that, like father figure, yet ride or die, yet kind of a little bit of everything to Aladdin and more so than Abu.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why because I looked at a lot of them and I thought about Abu, and I was like,
Yeah, you know what? Like, Aladdin is a perfect example that that movie has a fuck ton of sidekicks.
"Oh, yeah." I mean, in my opinion, like, yeah, sure, Abu is a sidekick, but then also Magic Carpet is a
Can be
sidekick,
a sidekick, yep.
you know? So, I feel like Genie was the more, like, wholesome of all those sidekicks and, like, a standalone really good one because I took a hard look and I was like, "I would want these 3 sidekicks
I
in my
mean, out of
life,
everyone from Aladdin, I would choose Genie as well.
hands down,
Under hands down.
hands down." I
I
think
had, him on my honorable mentions. I was
Mhm.
thinking about Genie, but not for me,
I do love I mean, obviously, like, I love the comedic relief
of
that he
course.
served in that movie, but
Yep.
I like that he did drop wisdom, like, a lot of these sidekicks that we're gonna have I mean, all the sidekicks nope. Multiple sidekicks that I
Nope.
have speak. Sorry, I was thinking back about it because I have some that don't and some that
Some
do.
that do, yeah, same.
Um, I mean, this one was the most wise of it. Like, makes you really think about, okay, yeah, are we making
Yeah,
a good decision? Is this my only wish? So,
that's a good one. I give
yeah.
you props. He's not on my list,
I will say
obviously.
though, when I was doing research though, like people didn't have Genie as high as
People don't like Genie
I mean,
sometimes.
because for me, I'm not saying that he is the best, but I think he's definitely up there as the best. Like, if you had to do a definitive ranking of the best,
Well, if you do ones that, like, provide a function or serve a function, he's definitely up there. He serves
oh,
a purpose.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
If anything, he serves one of the. I mean, unfortunately, I think that's just my personality that I feel like I have to like things that have function and have purpose.
Yeah.
And
Oh, Heather,
um,
just wait till my number 1 serves no purpose. Just kidding. She
I
does.
can't wait. And I
Yeah.
bet you it's going to be Olaf, and I can't wait.
Well, do you wanna hear my
Um,
number 2? Are
I want to
you
hear
ready to
number
move
two.
on?
Yes, I'm done. I'm
Well, my
sorry.
number 2 is Olaf from Frozen.
Oh, no way!
Yeah. I feel like
Mm.
he's such an obvious choice, and I know you already had Sven. I didn't wanna mention that I had
How
Olaf.
did you know I had Sven?
We talked about
Oh,
Sven
like
already.
just now? You just
Just
figured that
now.
out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know you had Sven. I mean, I was surprised, but not
That's
really.
right, because if anybody knows the rules of unpopular Disney opinions, they know that we do
We
not
don't
talk
talk.
about our numbers before this moment. The only thing I asked her before this was, "Hey, you do not have Stitch because Stitch is not a sidekick,
And
right?" She's
I
like, "Yep.
asked if they could be non-animals. That
Yes.
was it.
Yes."
No, yeah, I feel like he's a very obvious choice as one of the best sidekicks.
He was on my honorable mentions,
Like,
for sure.
I also wanna make the argument that he might be, like, one of the most popular, like, widely popular
I
sidekicks.
don't think you need to make an argument. I think Olaf
It
is
is. He
hands
is.
down one of the most popular Disney characters in the last
He's
15 years.
so lovable. Josh Gad plays his voice. He's the voice actor, and, like, they could not have casted him better.
No.
And he just even gets better in Frozen 2.
You know, I think a lot of people ratted about Frozen 2 to some extent. I personally did. I think
I
there were some
liked Frozen
storyline
2.
flaws.
I
But
mean,
Samantha? How can you
Samantha?
hate Samantha?
That was all Josh Gad. He just, like, said it randomly one day, and it just, like, made it in the movie and, like, caught on. I love
I
him.
mean, I do love because not that I have done a lot of research about this, but the thing is with comedians, and I'm sure this happened with Robin Williams, like, you can't give these actors
A
that
script.
role and not let them, like, go a little bit off the cuff.
Yep. I have a question for you. Do you think that Disney has fully capitalized on Olaf? I feel like there's so much more that they could do.
No, I feel like Olaf could do his own thing and stand alone and be a whimsical,
They've
like
done little shorts with Olaf.
well, and they're gonna be announcing next week, at Disney Plus Day, I believe, Olaf Adventures? I have to double check.
Is that a
Like,
movie or a series?
I
Well,
believe a
something.
series,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think that Disney has done enough with him. I mean, maybe that's a good thing. We're not sick of him yet. The movie's been out for, over 10 years. Maybe it's
Well,
that. I
I
don't
think
know.
it begs the question of what can you do with Olaf without involving Anna and Elsa? Like, contractually speaking, yes, it is hard to get both Kristen Bell and
Adina.
Idina Menzel to do things and it does take a lot of time and energy to make these really nice, high produced animated elements. But it's like, what is it that you can really do without those
I
two?
mean, they will find a way. There's definitely things Olaf can do on his own.
I'm gonna tell
He's
you,
a snowman.
once he gets his own show, Lindsay, he ain't a sidekick.
I know. Well, yeah. He will still be a sidekick in the Frozen movies. That's what counts.
Yes, that's what matters. All right, you ready
But
for
yeah.
number one?
Oh my god, are we already there? Did you
Yeah,
start? Yeah,
yeah.
okay. I
All
have
right.
no idea what you're about to say. I don't have a clue.
I don't think so. This is a recent love. It's Tuk Tuk from Raya.
Okay, that's a really good one.
So I was having heart palpitations when I saw young baby Tuk Tuk because it may be the cutest
He's
baby
so
character Disney's ever
cute.
created.
Wait, do you wanna I play the Magic Kingdoms game on my phone,
Yeah.
and I played the, Raya event before I actually watched the movie, and in the game, he's, like, an adult, he's big, and then
Oh,
I
so
started
you
to
didn't know
watch the
about baby
movie,
version.
and then I saw it, I'm like, "Oh my god, he's so cute. Why didn't they do the baby one in the game?"
My gosh. I bet you one of these days, if we end up running out of topics, one topic that I would feel like is actually heated is cutest baby Disney characters.
Oh, yeah. We won't get
Um,
into that right now,
so
but
I was
yeah.
so when I saw like the trailer and stuff, I was getting a little nervous and some of the like promo that this was gonna be Pua all over again. I was gonna get my heart crushed
Oh.
of a sidekick character. I literally was like,
No,
don't get
he
too
was
excited.
in the whole movie,
He's
and
in the
he's a
whole
very
movie.
integral part of Raya's journey.
Yep, he serves function. He does a super cool thing. He's like a giant roly poly oly meets a aardvark meets a I don't know,
Yeah.
cute hamster. Like that's not a very good description of of Tuk Tuk, but like
I don't know what he is.
like for me, I felt like outside of Sven, there wasn't a single character that didn't talk that made me laugh and made me feel as good as
Oh, yeah, he doesn't talk.
yeah, he doesn't talk
No, he
like
doesn't
Tuk
talk.
Tuk. Oh, Turtle, I guess, because his little back and when he gets stuck on his back and oh,
He is like little turtle.
again,
He's not a turtle.
a true ride or die, in my opinion, is like a definition sidekick. And for me, like there was nothing other than Tuk Tuk. And I think that it
That's a really good
really
one. I don't know how the hell I didn't even think about that.
here's the thing is actually when after I'm listening to our princess episode, I'm like, why did I put Raya in there? Like, why?
Wow.
Why? Why did I
Why?
not put Raya in my top princess? I absolutely adore that movie,
That
but
movie
what the
was
heck was I
so
doing?
good. I'm gonna rewatch it now this week. It's so
Oh, I
good.
think listen, I do think overall okay, this is a side tangent note is I think that they might have stuck too close to the line with Moana. Like if you were to like let's hear the storylines for Moana and for Raya, they're really dangerously close to some extent. Outside of like, you know, the magical powers and of the dragon rock
They
or
kind of are Similar, but they're
because
different enough. I
yeah,
think they are
because
different enough.
Aquafina kind of plays that same rock character where it's a
I freaking love
mythical.
Awkwafina, but
Just
there's
wait till you
also no
see.
music in Raya.
Well, there is
Is but
music,
isn't.
just not like anything worth like singing. It's not like that
Yeah,
type of, it's not a Lin-Manuel Miranda production. It was a
no.
true nod to a mixture of a lot of the Asian cultures. And I don't know what Tuk Tuk was supposed to be, if that was supposed to be also a nod to Asian culture, but I think Disney just knocked it out of the park with Tuk Tuk. I was super happy.
That was a really good one.
I you
That
but
was
I
a
would
really good
say, like,
one.
and kind of opposite of Genie, Awkwafina's character, like, I do not consider that a sidekick at all.
No. Mm-mm.
No.
No. She was a
But
dragon.
listen, I know that you don't watch this show. I think hopefully by the time we get to Thanksgiving and Christmas, I can convince you to watch this show.
Which one?
Everybody else is going to understand what I'm going to say is Tuk Tuk is the equivalent to Appa from Avatar: The Next Airbender,
Oh
and
my god.
Appa is a
That's
huge
not
fan.
even Disney.
I know, but the thing is it Avatar is so, like, I don't know how to describe it, but I felt like Tuk Tuk was Disney's version of Appa. Like, Appa, I know you haven't watched it, but
I
when
have
you
not.
do, he's like this guy that he has some, like, mythical powers. He's a transportation device. He is there in times of need. He's with
Okay.
the main character from the beginning. I'm just saying, when you do watch it and everybody else that listens at
If
home, they can appreciate the Appa reference.
if I watch it.
Highly recommend, and
Okay.
lots of people will say it. Okay, number 1,
Do you have any guesses?
my guess actually was Tinkerbell.
My number 1 is Tinkerbell.
Yes!
That is why I
Okay,
specifically made
on
sure
my
that this was not just animals, because I could not exclude Tinkerbell.
okay, I said in my notes, if this is what I have literally word for word in my notes. If Tinkerbell is not on this list, why the fuck is Tinkerbell not on your list?
Okay.
That is literally what I
Oh,
had
why
in
the fuck
big
is she
bold
not?
letters.
No, yeah.
No, no, if you didn't have it on your list, I literally have it in my notes. Remember to ask Lindsay why the fuck Tinkerbell is not on your
Yeah.
list.
Um, Heather knows my favorite character growing up was Tinkerbell, and this is way before the time where she had her own movie and her whole, own storyline. Tinkerbell
Our
was my
loves
favorite.
our loves for both our favorite characters. Mine is Goofy
Mine's
and
Tinkerbell.
Lindsay's is Tinkerbell, and we also share a love of Stitch. Hers
Yep.
was Lindsay's was early on and mine was
Mine
late
was, like,
coming.
immediate after the movie came out. Heather's was years later, but when we were
But
young, though, Disney didn't have any Tinkerbell shit. Like, we couldn't like, they didn't have meet and greets. At the maximum they had was, like, mugs and T-shirts. And that was it.
yeah, and I feel like our favorite characters, we like them before their waves.
They were
Like Goofy,
popular.
unfortunately, had his wave early in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I liked him way before that. My love just obviously made
I
it
love
stronger.
Tinkerbell.
Um,
Do you wanna hear why she's a
of
good
course,
sidekick?
of course. I mean, I knew she was
So
gonna be on your list,
of
so
fucking course. That's why I had to make sure it included humans, even though she's a fairy.
she
I
is a
guess you could
sidekick.
she's a sidekick. Um, Peter Pan simply wouldn't exist without her because their mode of transportation is the pixie dust, and without her, the movie wouldn't exist. Point blank. Point fucking blank.
Wait, I love your theory. Your theory is like, if there is no Tinkerbell, there is no movie Peter Pan.
Yeah, there's no Lost Boys, like, there's no Neverland because they wouldn't be able to get there and back. Like, she is everything in one. But she does have a very different personality for a second. Like, she's sassy, she's got attitude. She's very, like, jealous of Wendy, with Peter. She literally dies, and Peter Pan for, like, not dies, temporarily passes out from not getting enough attention. Like, she's a very different sidekick in the
Yeah,
sense
she
that,
has
like,
some real selfish
yeah,
self
she's not like a lovable little cuddly bear. Like, she's a little
you mean like Tuk Tuk?
Judy fairy. Yeah, but
Yeah, I like the thing is what I like about Tinkerbell is that Disney didn't just make her cookie cutter. I love this character, right? There was attitude. Granted, maybe I wish that she didn't, do things like pass out for attention because I don't think that sets the best precedence, but
No, it
they're willing to
doesn't.
go there because that's the kind of personality they wanted Tinkerbell to have.
Yeah, I mean, but she was also like I rewatched Peter Pan, which I haven't seen in years.
But have you rewatched Hook lately?
No.
Do you know who plays Tinkerbell in Hook?
No. I've seen Hook.
Also an amazing Robin Williams movie.
Yes.
Oh, what's her name? Erin Brockovich.
Look it up really quickly. I'm not sure, but, I recently, rewatched Peter Pan, and, I forgot that, she saved Peter from, Captain Hook's bomb, sacrificed herself because she loved Peter so much. She was Peter Pan's little sidekick.
Yeah.
No one can make the argument that, she wasn't useful. She
No, I
served a
think
purpose.
she is incredibly useful. There is
Yeah.
definitely I mean, listen, the point that you just made makes me definitely rethink Julia Roberts. Damn it.
Oh! I remember now.
It was Julia
I have
something.
to go watch.
I couldn't remember it last time.
Um, but yeah, I mean, now, Tinkerbell has, her whole line of movies. She's, a tinker and has, her other fairy friends and this and that, that came out in the 2000s. That stuff's cute. Now she, speaks, she didn't talk in, Peter
Yeah.
Pan.
Well, she did it in Hook, and she had a
Yeah,
very similar on-brand personality, but
yeah. But
this
that's
shocks me
why
0%,
Daisy
Linz, but
Lou is
and Daisy
wearing
Lou, for those that
is
are watching our YouTube, can see she's wearing her Tinkerbell
her
outfit.
Tinkerbell shirt that her auntie Heather bought her.
Yes.
Now she actually fits in it.
Alright, we're
Um,
gonna do some honorable mentions before we get out of
yes.
Dodge.
I had Genie on mine.
What was that?
Obvious. I had Genie on my honorable mentions. I
So
also had wait, what
I
were you gonna
no,
say?
go ahead.
Okay. One of my also favorite movies, Heather knows this, and I've mentioned it before, is The Little Mermaid. So I also had Sebastian and Flounder on my honorable
I
mentions.
debated that. I debated
Again,
that.
they are very useful little sidekicks.
Is Flounder useful, though?
Sebastian is, the most useful one, but,
I didn't say Sebastian, I said
no,
Flounder.
I know, I'm just saying out of the 2, yes, he is more useful, but it's, the whole crew of them. It's Sebastian, Flounder, and then the seagull,
Scuttle.
Scuttle, but I don't he's not a sidekick, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he is, but I love them. You
Um,
also could have bought her a Flounder costume, but didn't.
you didn't want me to. You're like, "Nope, she
I
doesn't
know,
need
it's my
it."
fault.
Okay, my honorable mentions, I actually debated about Timon and Pumbaa.
I'm surprised they weren't on your list.
Yeah, so that was at the very last minute that I put Sven on at 3 instead of Timon and Pumbaa, mostly because I just felt like Sven had more to offer than Timon and Pumbaa. Like, sure, Timon and Pumbaa can talk and sing, and they actually did serve
They
as
did serve, a purpose.
well, no, they served a purpose, but they actually served as Simba's parents
Yeah, they
for
pretty much raised him.
almost yes, for the equivalent I'm like 3 to 18. So my actual
Yeah,
so then when I was doing the math and thinking about it, I'm like, actually, I don't know if Timon and Pumbaa are actually like true sidekicks. They're actually more like
family.
parents.
It's their family.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
family. They were more like foster parents than they were sidekicks to Simba.
that's a really good point. I didn't even think about it that way. I should
So,
think about
do I put him on my honorable mentions? Yes, because I did have a tough time, but I ultimately that was the reason why. I
I have
also
2
had
more.
oh, you have a few more. Okay,
Yeah,
go
if you
ahead.
wanna go back and forth. I had Kronk from Emperor's New Groove.
I did not have him because he is not a true sidekick to um what's his face? Cusco. I just think he was just there. I don't even
Kronk
know
is
what
not
purpose
Kuzco's
he was there to
sidekick,
serve.
Kronk is Yzma's sidekick.
True. We didn't specify, but I do love him.
He, um
Sully would love your comment
he
because
would.
he's a Kronk guy.
Yzma is, a very interesting villain where, she's not very successful, but, the 2 of them together are hilarious. I love Kronk. Kronk makes the movie better.
I think that you could almost argue that if there is no Kronk in that movie tanks.
I agree. Yeah. He makes the movie better.
Yeah.
Do you have any more?
I have, specifically 2 more because there was such a long list that I did feel overwhelmed,
There yeah, it
did
was really long.
so I did have a short list.
I have
My
one
other
more, but I think it's gonna be on your list.
my other ones were so one of them was a combo because I didn't feel like they deserved it by themselves, was Abu and the Magic Carpet,
Yeah.
because I was feeling bad that I put Genie and then I didn't put Abu and the Magic Carpet, but I just don't feel like they are enough by themselves, but they are together.
Yeah.
So I felt like they were good. And then my also one I debated, which I also changed a couple of times, was Dodger from Oliver and Company.
You in that fucking movie.
I love that movie, but then I was like, actually, like he does kind of play sidekick, but then kind of that fatherly role. So then that's why I just didn't do it.
Are those it? You didn't have Mushu.
I actually on my notes I hear Mushu. Here's my word for word. Mushu is not on my list because he is a motherfucking sabotager.
I mean, he is. Yeah.
He is not a you cannot have a sidekick that is an inherent sabotager. Like Kronk is an accidental sabotager.
Yeah,
You
he's
have
just dumb.
Mushu who is an intentional sabotager.
Yeah.
That ain't no
Okay.
sidekick.
Yeah. I
That's
like
a
I had him on here just because I thought you would say him. He's on just like my list of
yeah, I
honorable
did
mentions.
like I think I struggled because I would go through down the movies and like yeah, I like the mice from Cinderella. But I was like, are they
I don't
my
like them
favorite?
more than Olaf or Tinkerbell.
No, like, and Olaf was on my honorable mention, like,
Okay.
which you mentioned. Like, I liked Lumiere, but was he sidekick material? No. Like, I
There were
was
so
struggling.
many characters from Beauty and the Beast that you could argue were sidekicks that none of them served enough of a purpose to be
Correct.
mentioned.
But none of them, in my opinion, were as strong to be as a sidekick because I feel like Lumiere didn't serve the purpose of a sidekick. He was more kind of like the middleman in a basketball game.
Like, there was just too many of
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
but no, I know. Listen, I knew Tinkerbell was going to be on this list. Did I think she was number one? I actually didn't know who would be on top of number 1.
Like, I would not put anyone above Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
At first, like, when I was making my list, I didn't think about her because I was just thinking, like, animal sidekicks. And I was like, "Holy shit, fucking Tinkerbell."
Yeah,
Like,
why did
yeah.
you not have him?
Yeah.
Duh.
That was my, like, final addition was her. But then, like, I couldn't decide between, like, Pascal and Olaf who would be 2nd and 3rd, but
Yeah. Can
Olaf
you believe
2nd
that
makes
we're
the most
almost
sense.
done with season 1 of
No.
Unpopular Disney Opinions?
I can't. I can't at all.
It's been totally crazy.
Yeah.
I well, as always, please let us know if you have anything that you want us
Any
to talk about.
yeah, any more, topics that we
Yeah,
can
I mean,
discuss?
we're open to any and all topics. We are gonna be taking a break around Christmas time. We will
Mhm.
be back for season 2. But yeah, so
And for
I mean,
season 2, we will have a Disney trip under our belts because we are going
we're
to Disney
yes,
World in
we
December.
are in T minus a month to Disney. No, actually, a little bit more than a month to Disney World. And if you don't follow Disney Peak Adventures, you're probably gonna miss out on all the dumb shit that we do.
Oh, yeah. Our mom's gonna
Yeah.
hate us.
All right, that was this episode of Unpopular Disney Opinions.